welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, November 2nd, and it's been a while since I have done any vlogging, so I thought I would vlog today. And depending on how today goes, I might do tomorrow as well and roll both of those together into one video, which will post on Friday. But yeah, just kind of a regular week around here. I'm going to be doing, starting on some new illustrations, also going to be filming another video either today or tomorrow. And then this week I will also be prepping the mini prints that I'm doing for my Patreon page. So I have to print and package those and do some Etsy orders and also send some thank you prints to some art directors. So got a bit of print production to do as well. Yeah, and then also just some random computer correspondence, client stuff, that kind of thing. So a little bit of everything this week, just a smattering across the board. So I thought I would go ahead and bring you all along for a couple of days. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in on those illustrations. Alright, so I have finished up working on starting a couple of new illustrations, and it's late morning now, so the lighting in here is really good, about as good as it's going to get all day for the natural lighting. So I'm going to go ahead and start filming, and I thought I would show you all my setup. So I've just got the camera right there, and I'm going to be sitting right there, and I have some notes on my computer, and that's about it. So I just finished filming and I'm gonna take a break and go grab some lunch now since it's about lunchtime. And I think I mentioned at the beginning that I have a friend coming over for coffee this afternoon. So depending on where I'm at after lunch, I'll probably try to get at least another hour, an hour and a half of work done before that. And yeah, we'll see where we are at that point. All right, so I just wrapped up lunch. And before I jump back into work, which will probably be on the computer and not that exciting to watch, I thought I would go ahead and talk about some of these different papers that I have been trying. The first one is called Yopo, which is a paper that's made from 100% polypropylene. So it's not absorbent at all. And I had never tried it. I had never even felt it, but I saw it on Blick and it was advertised as being really good for mixed media and for watercolor. So I thought I would give it a try. And this is what I made on it. And you can even see it's like a little bit shiny. It definitely has like a kind of a matte plasticky feel. So I talked about this a little bit on Twitter last week, and this was just a study I had done of some different kinds of beets, and I started with watercolor and then moved to Copic and Prismacolor markers, and I think I can understand why people like it for certain kinds of applications. It does have a really cool feel. It's obviously a very high quality paper. It's heavyweight. It's got a very pretty surface, but for me, I think I like being able to pile on so many different types of media, and the Yopo just isn't really great for layering. So it was a fun exercise, but I'm probably going to end up passing on this paper to my sister Carly, who uses a lot of Copic markers and does more stuff just with 100% Copics, and I hardly ever use just one media. So very nice paper, but not really for me in the way that I work. Then another kind of paper that I tried, and I had high hopes for, because I was hoping to be able to find a kind of more affordable paper to use on a regular basis, just for, especially for personal work or just for messing around. And I've used Strathmore paper in the past and I do like it, but the Strathmore watercolor paper that I've been using has it's a pretty pronounced texture, and sometimes it's more texture than I want. So I thought I would try out their printmaking paper, because printmaking paper can be really absorbent and really sturdy, and just thought that that would be a good thing to try. So you can see here, I just tested out some different little sections. Like these are just pure watercolor, and then these are colored pencil over watercolor pen. Oh, this is watercolor pencil, I think. And then these are just colored pencil that's been blended out with Gamsol. And then this little bit right here is just me cleaning off some Copics that I had gotten messed up. So overall, again, this is a nice paper. It has a nice feel to it, but it is not sturdy enough for me. It's going to be a little bit hard to have it come across, but this is just the one layer of watercolor pencils and me working the way that I usually do to blend things out with a stiff brush, and the surface of the paper is already kind of pilling. So I think that ultimately I won't be able to end up using this, because I pretty much always do more than one layer. So if it can't even hold up to one layer, then it probably won't work really well for multiple layers. And another reason I had been hoping that the printmaking paper would work is because I have been obsessed with this paper, which is the Reeves BFK. And this is the cream colored one. I think this is the 290 GSM, but it is just such a gorgeous paper, and it's very, very smooth. But unlike hot pressed or most of the hot pressed watercolor paper that I've tried, it's really smooth, but it's still really absorbent. And that's why I've been leaning towards liking printmaking papers more, is just because they do have a nice smooth surface with a really kind of subtle buttery texture, but they're also still really absorbent, which is important for me because I like to use so many layers. So this piece was a mixture of, there's watercolor down here, and then it's colored pencil, acrylic, and did I use some gouache on here? Oh no, water-soluble wax pastel. So it has a lot of layers on it, and it just performs so well. There's no pilling, no peeling, just a really, really sturdy, beautiful, beautiful paper. And I think ultimately, if I were just picking the kind of paper that I enjoy the most, it's this at the moment, but this is also a pretty pricey paper, and it only comes in huge sheets. So I'd actually be okay with the cost of it, but it's kind of a pain to have to cut the sheets down every time when I get new ones, just because most of the time I'm doing stuff that's around this size, so that's not huge. So I was hoping to find something that was on a block or on a pad that I could use on a regular basis, and then just use this for when I wanted to do larger pieces. But at the moment, I have really been gravitating towards this, and just really like it. And the last one, this one you saw me working on earlier, and this is my first time trying this. This is by Fabriano, and I have to look at my order sheet again. I'm pretty sure this is a watercolor paper and not a printmaking paper. Oh, it might be a printmaking paper. I'll have to check, but as you may be able to see based just on the way that the pigment is laying down, this does have a bit of a texture to it, but it's a very heavy weight. I think it might be like I think it's like a 390 GSM. It's probably the heaviest weight paper that I've ever used. I'm guessing this is going to be a really sturdy paper. It has a really pretty edge to it. But again, it came in huge sheets, so I had to cut it down. So not all the edges are that nice rough edge. Some of them are X-Acto blade edges. So yeah, I can't really have a conclusion on this one yet because I've only just started and working on it, but from just what I've experienced so far, it feels like it's going to be a really nice paper. And even though the texture is about the same as the Strathmore watercolor paper that I had been using and wanting to kind of move away from because the texture was more pronounced, The other reason the Strathmore paper was problematic was because, just like the Strathmore printmaking paper, it only really takes, I could probably get like 3 or 4 layers on it before it starts to fall apart. So the watercolor one is definitely sturdier than their printmaking version, but all in all, I think if this paper, this Fabriano paper, turns out to be really sturdy, that I could see really liking this and using it for pieces like baked goods or certain kinds of vegetables where I do want to have more texture, as opposed to figure stuff where I don't really want to have very much texture inherent in the paper at all. So that's kind of where I am with paper experimentation. And while I've got the camera set up, I thought I would take a minute just to talk about my studio sale that I have going on right now. You may know that I sell originals on my website, not on my Etsy, but on my website. And as we're heading into the holidays and my studio is getting kind of crowded, I really want to clear out some space for some new work. So I'm selling some originals at pretty significantly reduced prices. Most of them are at least half off, or around half off, and that's the least I've ever sold them for. So there are quite a lot on my website, and I'll put the link in the description box. But I thought I would just show a few of them here. Oh boy, this is not a great angle though. Here, I'm gonna move the camera. Oh yeah, that's much better. So I have this asparagus piece, cupcakes. These are all 9 by 12, but there are some other sizes on my website as well, some larger ones. Banana. These will all be signed before they're shipped out. And again, they are the originals, so once they're gone, they're gone. And this is a white squash that I did. This is an earlier piece, but I've always really liked it. I just think it's a really fun piece of cake. And then this is some egg toast. And this one also has kind of some different like cross-hatching and texture. Pizza. And a latte. And this is also an earlier piece. So a bunch of these on my website, and this will be running through, sale will be running through the end of the month, just around Thanksgiving. So if you have wanted to have an original, now is a great time to do it. So yeah, that's it.